Welcome to the beautiful Isle of Mull for the 38th running of the Tour of Mull Rally, once again sponsored by Tunnocks, makers of the famous biscuits and tea cakes. The island is a haven for wildlife and spectacular scenery, bringing visitors to the island all year long. In the days running up to the rally, the weather was almost perfect for enjoying this stunning part of Scotland. But Friday morning started damp and murky as the first of the cars arrived at the distillery for scrutineering, where all 160 cars were checked for safety and eligibility. And we asked one of the scrutineers, Jim McDowell, to talk us through the process.
So at the front with 4 lights, the law says that the lamps must all go off with the dip headlamps. So we'll check that. It has to be towing out in case the competitor gets stuck and has to be towed out of the ditch or anything like that. Just move round. Checking the wheels obviously within the arches. The wheel studs are all there, there's nothing falling off. It's all nice and tight. Inside the car, first thing we're going to check the steering to see there's nothing loose, which is not. Brake pedal, it's quite solid, so there's obviously got brakes. The roll cage, well, this is quite a comprehensive cage, it's in place, it's all bolted in this case, it's welded in. There's no cracks in the cage, it's all been properly fitted. The seat's all nice and tight, no bolts loose. Seat belts, several ways here, the seat belts have to have 4 fixing points of a minimum. But we're also checking to see if the belts are in date, and these are valid until 2009. Fire extinguishers, they have to be of a certain type, a certain extinguishing inside of a certain size. SOS board, should the competitor go off the road, he's got 2 options. If he's got a problem, he displays an SOS board, but should he be okay, he must display the OK board to say to the next car that he doesn't need any help. On the helmet, they have to be of a certain manufacturing number, which is here, it's BS2495. This one's a fire resistant helmet, it's got the FR at the end of it, and we've approved it. It's got a sticker on from the MSA to say that it's a legal helmet. Other things we look for is the tax test to see it's taxed, a general check over to see the car's safe.
So as daylight turned to darkness, we headed to the start ramp, where Boyd Tunnock was presenting Alec Kerr with his prize for winning the John Eason Scholarship, a free entry to the event.
Boyd, fantastic event to be involved with this Tunnocks Tour of Mull.
Yes, I'm thoroughly enjoying it, and I come here because I like Tobermory. I think it's great that having so many entries and have the youngsters in, and we hope that we get a new winner this time, but still it'll be great. And I think it's a great challenge, and it's really wonderful you can be able to shut the roads and let them have their way and go as they do. It'll be super.
And a nice tie-up for your company to sponsor the event.
Yeah, it's great. Oh yeah, certainly it helps us to keep the people happy and keep our name in front of the public. But basically, the real people who do the work are all the marshals, 500 marshals, fantastic. I mean, all I give is a few pounds, but really the marshals give their time and their effort, and I think it's fantastic. Great.
The opening leg would start from the distillery in Tobermory, with a short drive to the opening stage, which would run over the Mishnish Locks and down to Devade. Stage 2 would head up over the hill road before the long drive down past Ulva, finishing at Killycronan. With the first car about to leave the start ramp, we caught up with some of the leading contenders.
Well, Neil, it's been all changed this week in the build-up.
Yeah, that's right. We've got a new co-driver on board this year, Daniel Barrett. Mike State, who normally has done it for the last 19 years, It's been 20 years this year he's been sitting beside me. He's had to pull out at the last minute and Daniel stepped in, so it's a good chance to try notes with Daniel.
Absolutely, you don't normally use notes. This is the first time in 20 years or so you were telling me that you will be using notes.
Yeah, this is the first time, so I'm looking forward to it. Daniel's obviously up to speed with notes we're doing. You know, he's heavily committed into rallying and he should be able to look after me on the event.
And you've done a recce obviously together. Have the notes worked okay?
Yes, we're working away fine. You know, it's just as long as I can listen to him when I'm under pressure. You know, that's the thing on the road. So, but it should help. You know, when the conditions tonight aren't great. They're going to be fairly slippy out there, although the rain stops. So, hopefully that'll make it a bit safer having Daniel on the notes.
Evening, James. How are we?
Not too bad, thank you.
Let's set things first for the record straight. How do we pronounce your surname, sir?
McGilvery.
True Scottish name, and how have the preparations gone?
Yeah, I think we're all right. The car's a bit different to last year, so we're going to give it a go and see against the rest, see how it goes.
What have you changed on it?
It's on ProFlex now. A few other changes at the front and the rear, so we're just going to have to try our best and see what happens.
You had a test in it?
But maybe 4 miles, but that's nothing new. It's always the same. So
into the first stage, and that's the real test.
Well, it's dry now, so there's no need, to worry. Hopefully there'll be a bit of running water in places, but I think it's an even keel. We're all in the same boat, so let's go.
Yeah, you'd like it to stay dry, or would you prefer a bit of wet?
I think it would be better dry from our point of view, but if you're on the right tyres, there should be no real problem. Fog's the only problem I would have thought now, but hopefully I'll not need to worry about that till tomorrow.
Two absolute rogues chatting together here. How's the preparations been this year then, John?
Pretty much the same as usual, to be honest. No real problems. We had a good recce. Car seems all right, so yeah, can't wait to start.
Absolutely. The hours have been counting down all day, haven't they? It's a long old day.
It is that, yeah. It's not nice from the point of scrutineering to now. You just want to get going.
Have you done much in the car this year?
Only done 3 rallies other than Mull, and we had a decent run. We finished second on a club event in the Isle of Man, and we went to Otterburn and finished 3rd there, and did the Manx National and finished 10th. So we had got 3 finishes. That's what we want.
And runner-up last year here.
Oh no, we were 3rd last year.
Third last year, runner-up 2 years ago, was it?
Yeah, runner-up 2 years.
So you need to reverse the form to get back up towards the top.
This is it. Yeah, I'm slipping down the slope now, so we're trying to get back up there.
What do you think the chances are this weekend?
I think it's going to be as difficult as ever. The pace is still going to be hot tonight, so I've said this before, time and time again, you've got to have a clean run. So if we have a clean run, hopefully we'll be there or thereabouts. That's all I can ask for.
Absolutely, thank you, John. We'll ask the same question to the other John. How's your year been?
Very good, yeah. Did the same rally with John in the Isle of Man back in March, wasn't it? And got 5th on that one. Went over to did the little event on the trophy, on the Manx again. But basically that's it. The rest of the time's been getting ready for here and running the business.
Big push tonight?
Steady away I think tonight.
Long old rally, long time to play yourself in.
Yeah, and although I've done a lot more this year than I've done before, you've got to have a clean run, and that's the point. If you go out and go fast, you can go fast, but if you have one little accident, you may as well not bothered. So one little off the track or anything, it just puts you back. So it's the Friday night that really counts. So you've got to have a clean run fast and settle yourself in.
Thank you very much. All ready for another give it all effort on Mull like we've become accustomed to from you?
Yeah, I'm hoping to. I was an issue with the first start line last year, which I just hope I can address in the next few minutes or so. Right. So last year, new car, stalled 3 times on the first start line, so it's in my mind.
And is this the same car this year?
This is another car which Steve Petrie just bought and completely rebuilt, so it's absolutely brand new.
As Boyd Tunnock sends him away, the first car away.
So the first car off the ramp was the 2006 winner Neil McKinnon and his new navigator Daniel Barrett, who headed out into the darkness for the first of 2 long stages. They were instantly on the pace, stopping the clocks on 6 minutes 51 seconds for the 6.5 mile stage 1, and then 13 minutes 11 seconds on the 14.5 mile stage 2. Neil was certainly working the brakes hard, as they were clearly glowing here.
Okay, Neil McKinnon, how have those first two been?
We got not too bad. We had a wee problem at the start, the first stage, just getting the car off the line. We stalled, but I don't think we lost a lot of time with that. And then the second one was very slippy at the start, and it was tricky all the way down, but things went okay.
And how are you settling in with these pace notes?
The first stage was tricky, there's no question about that, trying to listen to a man, keep the car on the road. But the second stage it started to come in, and I'm quite enjoying it.
Now you're all set, ready to go for the rest of the night?
Hopefully that things will go, we'll steady up now. A couple of bits I would have said I was a wee bit untidy, and I need to sort it out, I think a combination of listening to the notes as well this time, I've got to really watch what I'm doing,
Second away in his Mitsubishi Evo 8, complete with a second-hand engine he had bought off eBay, it was Dougie Hall with Andy Richardson on the notes. We join them on stage 1. It was a cautious start for the Mitsubishi driver as he stopped the clocks 18 seconds slower than McKinnon on the opening stage. But once into stage 2, he looked to be into his stride as he set the second fastest time to the Subaru driver, but he was already 20 seconds behind the leader. Just about to leave the start ramp, it was the local favourite Callum Duffy, but his day had already been quite frantic, as he explained.
We started the car first thing this morning and it wasn't running well at all, and we got it through scrutineering, etc. And we tried management problems, everything, and what it ended up being was the pulley in the bottom of the crankshaft had spun the Woodruff key. So we searched the island looking for another pulley, and Ian McKenzie managed to get us one. So I've just put that on the car, and it's, well, about half an hour ago it's been got going again, so hassle.
Just what you don't need in the build-up to a Mull Rally.
Aye, well, I tested the car beforehand out in Ireland, it was perfect, and just assumed we'd turn up and drive basically, but it's never like that, is it?
And so Callum and his brother Ian, better known as Dell, headed off in the night. As they neared the end of the opening stage, everything seemed to be going well. Callum doesn't use full-pace notes for all the stages, so all we can hear from Dell is a few puffs and sighs from over the intercom.
6:56.
And Dell confirms it a 6:56, and that was just 5 seconds slower than McKinnon.
How's it feeling?
On to stage 2, and they were nearing the bottom of the hill road.
To left 2 over par, and to left 5, plus right 7. Left 5, right 7. To left 3 over par, 75. To right over par, 100. To right 5, plus left 4, 75. To junction left. Is that right? I don't know.
It was another good run, and they stopped the clocks on 13 minutes 37 seconds. But that was 26 seconds behind McKinnon.
Not so bad in the first one, we were doing okay. We've got a hard Dunlop in the back. The car's going fine after all the dramas, but 3 miles into the second stage there, I come over a crest and it's obviously snapped something in the alternator side of things, so we don't have any charge. And it was missing a little bit in the engine and stuff like that, but it was a slippy stage anyway, so first stage was fine, second stage not so good.
Just as well you know those roads, eh?
Aye, yeah. It's a handful, this thing, it really is, you know, and thank God it's not raining, because it would be just a nightmare.
Fourth on the ramp, it was North Manchester's John Cope, with his new navigator Rob Fagg from the Isle of Man. So could this new pairing challenge for that top spot, which has so far eluded John? They stop the clocks on the opening stage in fourth, but will join them for the start of stage 2 as they climb up the hill road.
1, go, 100, left 2, don't cut, greasy continues, and flat right on crest, 50, straight on crest 50, right 2 at post, 50, left 1 on jump into caution yump dip, and double caution, left 2 over crest away, 50, crest into very long right 3, don't cut, into crest, right 4, and left 1, 50, left 4 over crest, tightens, mud inside, 75, left 6, and right 1, 75, right 3, hole inside, into left 3, and right 1 on crest, and right 2, into caution right 3, keep out and loose, into hairpin left damp. And long right 3 damp, 50, long left 3 on crest, and right 1, 50, right 4 tightens, and left 6 on crest.
Partway through the stage and everything looked to be in control. But when we caught up with John after the stage, it hadn't been a problem-free run.
Very, very slippy. Didn't drive the first stage at all well, I didn't think, because like I say, it was slippy. And second stage got into it a little bit better, I think. But overall, I think we were very lucky to stay on the road in places, to be honest. Got a puncture towards the end of the second one as well, so not a very good start, but we're still here, so it's the important thing.
Did the puncture cost you much?
Hard to say really. It was only soft when we got to the end of the stage, so it wasn't as though it was delaminated or anything. So I don't know. I don't know where we got it. I don't know how long. How long we had it. So I don't know. It might have been 10 seconds. It might have been only 5. I don't know.
You couldn't feel it as you were going through?
Not particularly. No. I could tell there was something wrong. You could smell the rubber. So the end. I think it was somewhere in the last sort of 2 miles or so.
Fifth off the ramp in the car he first used in 2002, Paul Kirtley certainly looked relaxed in his Subaru WRC. We'll join Paul and his navigator Jim Kitson as they set off into the opening stage.
Long K right, in and out, uphill. And medium left maybe, Opens out into flat left. Into straight over brow, into medium right. 200. At the end, medium right over brow. And K left into very long medium right. 30. Flat right into flat over brow, 100. Long K left, 50. Flat right, 30, hairpin left. Into caution, hairpin right, 30. Flat left, 100. Flat right, maybe, 50, hairpin left. And very, very long K right. 100. Hairpin left. Into flat right, left over drop. And long K right. K left. And easy right, 30, caution. Long sweeping K right. Boy, is this tight, remember. And hairpin left.
They were 5th fastest on the opening stage, just 11 seconds behind McKinnon, and were still looking good here on stage 2, despite Paul's admission to a few errors.
Paul Kirtley, 2 stages down, it looks like it's been a hard night's work.
Yeah, it certainly has. Probably slightly the wrong choice of tyres, very, very slippy in there. We had 2 or 3 moments on the first stage where I thought I'm getting awfully near the edge, near the rocks. So we just backed off a little bit. Anyway, it's a long way to go, and we're still here at the moment, so that's the main thing. And it's fun.
Big moments early on, is that a sign that you were pushing right from the go?
Yeah, we had we really practiced the first stage carefully, and there were a couple of sections where I expected a bit more adhesion. We ran a little bit wide, and the problem here is the minute you get onto the close stuff at the edge, you're so close to a puncture, and a puncture you're dropping 2 or 3 minutes, and it just got me going. We just eased off a little bit, but anyway, it's been good fun.
6th away, but making a steady start, it was James McGilvery and Ian Fraser in their superb Mark II Escort, now sporting the ProFlex suspension. It was handling the bumps and jumps even better than previous years. They would stop the clocks 8th fastest on both the opening stage and here on stage 2.
You were checking the timesheets there out. What do they say after 2?
I think we're kind of working away, but we're still quite a bit away from the leaders at the moment. That's just after 2. It's really, really slippy. That's the problem. So we'll change tyres now and see what happens.
Did you give it a big push?
No, we just wanted to get to first service. I mean, we did try hard, but the tyres weren't too slippy. So at least we're here.
A change of compound now might do the trick.
Yeah, we'll go softer for our turn now and hopefully get into Greven and get a better run through there and get to the end of tonight. That's the aim now. We've got to first service and want to get to the end of tonight. So.
For Tony Bardi, the Hyundai looked to be quite a handful. And when we caught up with him after the opening 2 stages, we asked him how things had gone.
Not good enough. I was almost past on the second one by, I don't know, I think it's Paul McKinnon actually. Came having a bit of a shout, so, but I didn't see him, so. Not good enough.
Something you can do something about?
Yeah, lose 20 year, I think.
Dennis Biggerstaff and Graham Thompson over from Ireland.
A superb opening stage for the Irishman Dennis Biggerstaff, 6th fastest overall. But when we caught up with his navigator Graham Thompson after stage 2, there was bad news.
Okay, Graham Thompson, co-driver of Dennis Biggerstaff, problem already?
Yeah, but the clean run through the first stage, a little bit quicker actually than last year. Halfway through the second stage, gearbox problems. We had some problems with the car prior to coming here. Looks like the same things happened again. We're now jammed in 5th gear, so off to service now. Hopefully we can get it rectified.
You'll get it back to service?
Hopefully, yeah.
Once into the service area, the mechanics leapt into action, changing the paddle shift gearbox for a manual version. But with just 25 minutes to complete the job, it would be a superb effort by the team to get him back on his way without dropping any time. Making the biggest impression at this early stage in the rally, it was Paul McKinnon. Joined second on the opening stage and fourth on stage 2, he was up to third overall.
First stage, I think basically we had a too softer tyre on it, but when we got to the end the time was actually quite good, but we destroyed the tyres in there, and then in the second one it was very slippy, and we're going fairly well there in the first half of the stage, but then we caught Tony Bardi about 4 miles from the end, and it was kind of unfortunate. It was just in a very narrow stretch of road there, so we dropped a fair bit of time there behind him in that last one, but there was no way for him to kind of let us by, so it's just one of these things. But overall, it's very slippy, and so you've just got to kind of keep your nose clean at the end of the day. But no, I'm happy to be here because there are a few wee skirmishes, and as everyone I'm sure has under the trees there, the hill road and stuff like that, so no, good.
It was a poor start for the Eddie O'Donnells when the engine cut out part way through stage 2. They would make it to service, and with the event sponsor looking on, they would try to solve the problem. Ninth overall after the opening 2 stages, John and Paula Swinsko were reunited in the cockpit for Mull for the first time since their big off in 2005. And so far they were looking well poised. Maybe it was the lucky dice hanging from the mirror.
Left 3, 100. Crest left 9, 50. Right 4 at hairpin left at gate and sign. Right 11, crest 100. Left 8, don't cut. Right 8. Left 4 of a crest. 100, crest left 11. Right 11. All right.
John Swinsko, then, how's the first 2 stages been?
I think everyone said the same, slippy. Very, very slippy on the last one anyway.
But not giving you any particular problems apart from that?
Yeah, not really, no. Just judging everything, braking distances. Makes it hard work.
Does that mean a change of tyres here?
I'll see. I'll see what the reports are down in Ardton first.
Also going well in the Mini, it was the former winner of the event, Daniel Harper, as too was his teammate John Cressy. Taking an early lead in the up to 1600 class, it was George MacDonald in his immaculate Super 1600 Corsa kit car, but it did seem very skittish. Going well in his Suzuki, Chris Pedley was just outside the top 60 on the opening stage. But then on stage 2,
Is it off? Is it? Not move it. Did it not drive? What's wrong? No, nothing's up.
the rally now moves southwest for the 2 traditional short stages of Ardton, where, with his new gearbox fitted, it was Dennis Biggerstaff who set the pace. But 2 second fastest times for Dougie Hall would move him up the leaderboard into second, so we'll join him on board for a quick ride. Also enjoying a great run through here, it was Paul Kirtley, and he moved up into 5th overall.
Free flight. Yeah, okay. Round. Aim at Paul straight. Long K right, tightens at rock.
Roger.
100. Flat right over brow, keep out, 200. At the phone, bumpy, flat left, into medium left, tightens. Into a long flat right over bumps. Continues for 100.
2 great runs through for John Cope and Rob Fagg. And despite collecting a puncture towards the end of the stage, they dropped just 6 seconds to Paul McKinnon.
Straight at gate 50, caution deceptive left 5. Into right 2, flat left, right 1, don't cut.
Here's where they collected
50.
that puncture.
Straight on crest damp, caution immediate left 9, tight.
Unfortunately, stage 3 would claim its first of the top runners. And whilst the Duffets would complete the stage, those earlier electrical gremlins could not be cured.
That light nothing to worry about. It's something to worry about. It doesn't seem to affect the engine.
And so, another long road section would take the crews into the final loop of the night, where competitors now faced 4 more stages. Once again, Neil McKinnon continued to dominate, setting 3 out of 4 top times, to end the night with a relatively comfy 54-second lead. But all eyes were on another McKinnon. Paul was clawing back time to his father, and when he stopped the clocks 3 seconds quicker on stage 6, it looked like he could actually start to threaten. But then on stage 7, he had actually double punctured, leaving him no choice but to stop and change at least one wheel. And this was costing him valuable time. With one wheel changed, he was back on his way, but he had dropped from 2nd to 15th. Finishing the night in 2nd overall, it had been a good evening's work for Dougie Hall and Andy Richardson in the Mitsubishi. Never out of the top 3 times since the opening stage, it had been a flawless performance.
Long left one.
It had not been such an easy job for John Cope, with several punctures hampering his progress. But the fight back king always relishes the challenge, and daylight could be a different story.
50. Right 1.
He would end the night in 3rd.
75. Right 1 and crest, and straight on crest, and straight on crest. 50. Flat right on crest at post. 50, left 2 and straight on.
Paul Kirtley and Jim Kitson were having a brilliant opening leg, setting regular top 5 times. But on stage 7, Calgary Bay, Paul was about to make a mistake.
30, flat right right, tightens K right into 90 left, drop. 100. Rail end, easier left, 100. Medium right maybe, and medium left, rail 2, medium right.
Whoa, whoa!
Into K left, hold it Paul, good lad, well done. Brilliant.
But navigator Jim Kitson hardly noticed. They would end the night 4th overall.
Easy left, bridge, 50. Flat right maybe, easy left. And easy right over brow into flat left. Into long medium right. Into easy left over drop. 21. You know, that was well driven, Paul.
That off was entirely my fault.
Did we go off?
Yeah, we went off quite a big way.
A superb 5th overall at the end of the leg, Daniel Harper was driving the Mini right on the edge. But his stage times were truly fantastic, as he was never more than 30 seconds slower than the full works spec Subaru of McKinnon. Harper certainly knows the roads, but could the Mini survive another day and night of this continual punishment? A change of tyres for James McGilvery in the Escort seemed to have done the trick, as he was now setting into a good pace and enjoying a very close battle with the Mini of Harper. James would end the leg just 12 seconds adrift of the Mini.
100 over big jump at post on the right.
John and Paula Swinsko in their Mitsubishi Evo 9 also seemed to have settled into the pace. The Lancer seemed to be taking the jumps extremely well.
50 crest and caution crest, big dip. 200 over, 300 over dip at junction. Care jump and right 2. 100 right 2, crest, crest 200. Care jump, stay left over bridge and left 2.
They would end the night in 7th, 29 seconds behind McGilvery and 37 seconds ahead of 8th placed Tristan Pye. Pye was guided by Kirsty Riddock in their Impreza, and they had been quietly working their way up the leaderboard. Tony Bardi still seemed to be struggling with the Hyundai, yet he was still inside the top 10, but only just. He would end the night in 9th. Having started at number 24, John Cressy, in the second of the Mini Sport BMW Mini Cooper S, was steadily climbing up the leaderboard. As he started stage 5, he was in 14th place. But 4 stages later, he was 4 places higher, and the Minis were looking strong. Dennis Biggerstaff was still having gear change problems, but by the end of stage 7, he had climbed up to 8th overall, only for the car to jam in gear a second time on the final stage, where he took a maximum. Also running out of luck, the O'Donnells. The electrical problems had returned, and shortly after here, they slid off the road and out of the event. Willie Bonnywell was in a Subaru, but he had punctured, and then he had a big spin, dropping him even more time. In Class B, George MacDonald was still holding on to 3rd in class, having dropped behind the Anglia of Mike Storer, and the Peugeot of Mull novice Chris Hall, son of Dougie. Class C was being led by another Peugeot, this one belonging to Lewis Gallagher. And the smallest engine class was being comfortably led by the Nova of Matthew Tarbert, who was even catching cars in the stage. It had certainly been an eventful start to the rally, and by the end of the evening, over 40 cars had retired. But there were still 115 cars still running, and eager to do battle in the daylight on day 2. Confirmation of the result at the end of the leg, and it was McKinnon from Hall, Cope, Kirtley, Harper, McGilvery, Swinscoe, Pye, Bardi and Cressy rounding out the top 10.
Top 2 just standing having a chat here. We'll have a chat with Dougie Hall first. Second overall, you'd have taken that last night, wouldn't you?
I'd have taken what? Second overall. No, first would be better, but this old fella here has got a lease of life, hasn't he?
Fair pushing on, but your times were quite impressive last night. You must have been going well.
Yeah, some of them are pretty good. Some of them are a bit poor, really, but well, the locks, it's I think it's the car, power, and tyres. Struggling with tyres on locks both times, so 35 seconds out of me on both runs on the locks. Doesn't help the course at all, does it?
It doesn't, but is there anything you can do about it this afternoon?
Oh, we'll see. We'll always try, can't we?
Keep pushing hard.
That's it. Keep the pressure on.
Well, the man who's going to be pushing. Your night was, well, it went really well. You can't ask for more than a minute's lead, can you, after the opening night?
No, things have gone not too bad. We're quite happy with the way we're going. We took a wee bit of learning, you know, with having Daniel here, but quite enjoying it.
Those pace notes are gelling well now, are they?
Yeah, certainly. I would say the last 2 stages we drove well. You know, we're starting to get into the swing of things with the car and him, and I'm quite happy now.
And you're happy enough with your pace, despite young Paul, your son, beating you on a couple of stages?
Yeah, I'm quite happy with that. I always thought he would be there or thereabouts this year. He's got a bit more experience in the car now, and he's very good in the wet and slippy conditions. So I knew he would be in there somewhere about us. It's quite good to see.
And it's a long, long way to go. What's the approach? Do you try and control it from the front, or is it too far to go to do that?
We'll just keep going at our own pace, really. Like, we know what we've got to do, really. Try and keep our nose clean. That's the main thing. But on this event, it's pretty difficult. You know, we'll see how it goes.
Paul, absolutely on a charge last night, and then it all went wrong on the 6th stage.
Yeah, definitely we're going well, but to be fair, we're quite steady there. But you know, the best times always come when you think you can actually go quicker. And I think the problem was we actually did try to go that wee bit quicker in Calgary, and we just turned in a wee bit sharp. You know, about 30 mile an hour hairpin corner, clipped a stone inside, and unfortunately it punctured the front left, and then the back left went, so we had 2 punctures down the one side, which probably try and drive a car with only 2 tyres is not easy. So basically just had no option to stop and change, because probably had carried on with the damage to the suspension a wee bit further. So, you know, the sensible thing was to stop, but, you know, it was unfortunate, but, you know, learnt a harsh lesson last night. You know, it's, you know, just to keep the head a wee bit more. But anyway, we're still here, and we'll try and go out today and learn a wee bit more, hopefully.
Top 3 last night, so happy enough with the run last night?
A bit fraught last night, to be honest. We ended up having 3 punches last night. Got the first one at the end of the 2nd stage for about 2 miles, which wasn't too bad. But then we got 2 punches simultaneously in Hard Ton. On the 2nd run through Hard Ton. Somebody pulled a rock out and we hit those. So that went against us. And also we've had a problem with the hydraulic seal in the gearbox. That blew last night, and we ended up running 6 stages with hydraulic pressure in the gearbox. So it was a handful last night.
Have you managed to get that sorted overnight?
Yeah, everything's back to normal again now, so grand attack, as they say.
Is that the plan? Go for it this afternoon?
That's all you can do, isn't it? You know, we've got a 30-second cushion on Kirtley, but it's not a great deal. You know, we still need to keep on it today and see what we can do.
6 on the door, 6th on the results sheet as well. That's a pretty decent night's work, isn't it?
Yeah, that's all right. It was really, really slippy last night, and we went quite well, really.
No major problems?
No, none whatsoever. We've been on the grass a few times, and you know, we've had a few. We haven't had punctures, but we've had burst rims, so we've been one of the lucky ones, I think.
Right, and today you're set to go in what looks like dry for the moment.
Yeah, I think the forecast for tonight's not so good, but we'll worry about today first, and just to see what we can do. Just if we can hold position, it'll be good. We'll just see how it goes.
Top 5 then after the first night, Daniel. That's a fair night's work.
Yeah, reasonable night. That bit of a surprise really, but we just kept it going. Just wanted to get to the end of the first night, which is the first time for quite a few years now. But yeah, it was good.
No major problems?
No, just I think everybody had the same problem. It was just very damp, slippy, a bit frightening 1 or 2 times, but no, nothing major.
Were you pushing on?
Probably driven it as hard as I've ever driven it. Yeah, yeah, I'll say we were. Looking back now, we were pushing on a bit.
And is that the plan of campaign, just to keep that going all afternoon?
Yeah, I think so. I'll be happy if we're still here at tea time tonight. If we can stay in 5th, then I'll be quite happy with that.
Have some fun along the way.
That's the one.
Top 10 then after the first night. Really good night's work, John.
Yeah, really good. Just tried to take it nice and easy, frightened myself a few times, spun it twice, but you know, we're here.
Finally getting to grips with this mighty Mini.
Yeah, I think so. Bonny piece of kit. Really good. It is.
And all set for a big push this afternoon?
I'll tell you tonight. I'm not sure about that. We'll see what the weather does first.
The Saturday afternoon leg comprised of just 6 stages, but with just 1 short service halt, there was little time for repairs. Stage 9 would start proceedings before a drive over the hill road to stages 10 and 11, which would run round Calgary Bay before the run over Mishnish Locks into service, and then the 2 final stages around Loch Nakeal. So we'll pick up the action on the opening stage, where Neil McKinnon once again set the pace, stopping the clocks 13 seconds quicker than any other crew. Again on Calgary Bay, he extended his lead by a further 22 seconds over the 2 runs, and he was now looking almost invincible. Dougie Hall was second away and was certainly keen to try and keep the gap to McKinnon as small as possible. In the daylight, you can certainly see just how narrow these roads really are. Dougie would set the second fastest time here on stage 9, but then on the first run through Calgary, he would drop over 30 seconds, but somehow he still held on to second overall. Daniel Harper was extracting everything from his knowledge and experience and was pushing the Mini as hard as possible. 5th fastest on stage 9, he then went even better on Calgary to move up another place on the leaderboard and into 4th.
Left 1 and double caution Yump 100.
With his Subaru back to find Vettel, John Cope was immediately onto the pace once again. Fourth fastest here on the opening stage.
Long left 1 on crest.
His first run on the Calgary stage would see him stop the clocks in second, just 18 seconds slower than McKinnon. But on his second attempt, he couldn't go any quicker, equaling his first run time. The stage was certainly keeping Robert Fagg busy, almost every other note being crest.
Long flat right and flat left on crest and straight on crest into flat left into straight on crest 75, tricky now, crest into flat left on crest, don't cut, caution dip and flat left at sign mud and caution crest immediate right 9 and left 5, don't cut, gravel damp, right 5 damp, keep out, into caution crest hairpin left, 50, caution left 3 on crest into right 9, 50.
James McGilvery was certainly enjoying the clear weather and drier roads and was pushing the Mark II Escort as hard as possible. And he certainly didn't lift too much over the jump. After the first 3 stages, he had moved up into 5th overall. And that was at the expense of Paul Kirtley, despite a great opening stage of the day where he set the 3rd fastest time. We'll join him on board on stage 10.
Easy left, slow double caution. Left over drop, 90 right. Into 90 left, 90 right. To hairpin left, downhill. 50. Try and keep the engine on.
And that is quite a way off the road. A spectator was soon on hand to check their escape route, and carefully they rejoined the stage, but they had lost over a minute.
Right, we can drive out straight down that way.
Straight down that way?
Yep, straight down. Straight towards that couple. Bravo, Paul. Bravo. Tight K right.
Sorry, Jim. Sorry about that.
Bravo. 30. Medium right tightens into easy left.
Lewis Gallagher had started the day leading his class in the Peugeot 205, but a broken drive shaft on Calgary left him stranded and out of the event. Also in trouble and out of the event, Matt Tarbert rolled his car on Calgary, whilst holding a comfortable class lead. So moving into the lead of Class C, Tug Sherrington in his Mark II Escort. And moving into first in Class A, Ewan McGilvery in his Nova. Back at the front, John and Paul Swinsko were looking comfy in the overnight position of 7th. And as they came into view here, everything looked fine.
Right hit thrust. $100. Right 2 over crest. Stay right for left 6. Right 4, left 6, don't cut. Crest 100. Care, Armco, right 8 over crest.
But suddenly, the car shot off the road.
Oh, no, 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 no! No, no, no! No! Oh,
When we look at it again, it seems something may have broken on the rear of the car. Luckily, neither crew member were hurt, but the car would take some serious recovery. So, moving up a place, it was now Tristan Pye into 7th. Tony Bardi looked to be making better progress in the daylight, and after a steady start on the opening stage, 2 great runs on Calgary moved him into a more comfortable 8th overall. Despite his early fears, it looked like John Cressy was taking everything in his stride. And setting his first top 10 time on stage 10 ensured his 9th overall. And after a steady start on the opening leg, David Miller was up to 10th. But his position certainly wasn't secure, as he had another Subaru rapidly closing in from behind, and that was Willie Bunnywell. Despite fighting a heavy bout of flu, Stuart McQueen was comfortably leading the production class in his Evo 9. In Class B, the Anglia of Mike Storer would retire on this opening stage. And so, putting in a superb first-time performance, it was the Flying Car 88 of Chris Hall. Having started the leg in 46th place, the young Stevie Brown was pushing on in the opening stage.
Crest, 40, 8 right at the reflectors, it opens. Crest deceptive, 4 right, 4 left, no cut. 4 right, keep in, 3 left, 40, crest 40, 3 left, flat, 100, 1 right at the telephone box, 100, 1 left, 2 right, 200, 3 right at the school sign, 50, 4 right, go to long, yeah, that's it, tight inside 8, 300. Crest and 3 right, long, 120. Yeah, crest 100, goes to care, 3 left, long, to bridge and jump, 3 left, long, bridge and jump. 120. 3 right over bumps, 50 uphill, caution, crest 4 left. Crest 4 left. 100. Yeah, careful. 3 left over crest, 100. 2 right to the post, 40. Care, bump 3 right. 80, caution, 6 left. Yep. Yeah, narrow, 80. 3 left over dip, 100 uphill. To 2 right at the arm coat, 120 uphill. 1 right flat, 80. Care, 3 right at the post. 3 right at the post, care, 100. 3 right, 100. 2 left, long, 80. Bridge, caution, 3 left, bad bump. Yeah, 1 left over, 1 right over crest. Crest, 2 right. 1, you're going 1 right, goes tightens to a 4. 70, 2 right at rock, keep in, 100, 2 right at the post, 80, 3 left, 70, crest and caution, 5 left. Okay. Yeah, I'm fine.
On to stage 12, and Neil McKinnon was simply in a league of his own as he blasted through the 6.3 mile stage. smashing the previous record set by John Cope of 6 minutes 22 seconds by a full 9 seconds. But he arrived late for the start of the final stage and limped through to the finish. So would he reappear for the final leg? Dougie Hall was pushing on as hard as he could, knowing full well that just one problem for McKinnon could hand him the lead, and he wanted to keep the pressure on. But he couldn't even match the Subaru drivers' times, yet alone beat them. However, at the end of the leg, there was still a glimmer of hope. Cope was driving his Impreza faster than he had ever been before, and he shaved 3 seconds from his previous record on this stage.
Slippy maybe into hairpin right. And flat left. And long left 9 opens Armco. And right 2. And crest into right 4, don't cut. And left 4, 50, crest into right 9, don't cut, 50, right 2 okay, and flat right over crest, and flat left 50, caution.
But he couldn't keep this pace up for the final 2 stages, where he dropped more time to Hall, and at the end of the leg, he was 2 minutes, 23 seconds down in third. It was James McGilvray who made the biggest impression on these late afternoon stages, as he too set a personal best time here on the Loch stage, stopping the clocks on 6 minutes 36. This also helped him move up the leaderboard once more, and he would end the leg in 4th. It was bad news again for Tony Bardi, when on stage 13, and just as he was starting to get to grips with the Hyundai, it ground to a halt with turbo failure, ending his challenge for another year. It was better news though for Paul Kirtley. Following his off on Calgary, he had now settled back into a fast but safe pace, and he would end the leg in 5th. The gap to 6th place, however, had really closed up, partially due to Kirtley's off, but also due to the fact that Daniel Harper was driving the Mini like a demon. At the end of the leg, just 20 seconds separated the pair. And less than 20 seconds behind Harper, the young and fearless Tristan Pye had been having a very good afternoon, never out of the top 10 times, even setting a couple of top 5 times along the way. The bottom end of the top 10 were also having their own battle, as less than 25 seconds separated 8th from 10th. And that was Cressy in the Mini, Bonniwell in the Subaru, and Miller also in a Subaru. The class battles were also beginning to hot up, none more so than in Class C, where it was Tuggs Sherrington in his Mark II Escort doing battle with the Mark I Escort of Chris Haig. And whilst the Mark II had the advantage, the Mark I was closing in. Just 39 seconds separated the pair going into the final leg. Just one place behind this battle, it was the Mull novices, Chris Hall and Elia Flynn. They had a relatively comfortable class lead from George MacDonald in the Corsa, who had been having a few scary moments along the way. Third in the class, and just 5 seconds behind the Corsa, it was Ian Chadwick in his Peugeot 106. It had been a frantic daylight section, with plenty of incidents, but none quite so bad as the Puma of Alan McLaughlin, who had put his car well off the road. But for some it had been a great afternoon of competition, so here's a look at a few more of the cars in action. Confirmation of the result at the end of leg 2. And whilst McKinnon's lead looked comfy, we still didn't know what his problems were, or if he would even take the restart. Second to fourth were evenly spaced, but fifth to seventh were still very close, as two were 8th to 10th. The final leg was about to get underway, and Neil McKinnon was at the main control.
Okay, here we are then, Neil, rally leader, about to head into the final night loop here, and that magical 12th victory within reach.
Well, we're here and we've had a few wee problems this afternoon, so we'll just have to see. You know, we're not 100% confident.
Yeah, dropped some time going into the last stage of this afternoon. What was the problem?
We had a problem with the water system. She was overheating a bit. She airlocked, so hopefully that's all it's been. And they bled it when we came out, and she's driven up the road fine. So this will be the test, this first one.
Right, well, we wish you the best of luck. That magical 12 would be some achievement.
Yeah, it would be. But no, I've enjoyed the event so far, and Daniel's been really good, so it's quite a good time.
Right then, Dougie, about to go into the final night loop on the Tour of Mull Rally, and a solid afternoon's work, and we're hearing of possible problems in the McKinnon camp.
Oh, well, I thought he was parked up between Scrutton and Gribben this afternoon, and he was going like this, so the job was up. There was a lot of steam coming out, but then he seemed to get it going again, so miracles happen.
Yeah, but it gives you hope, doesn't it? Because he says they're not entirely sure they've got it right.
Yeah, I don't know what the problem was. Do you know what the problem was, though?
Something water related.
Yeah, there's a lot of steam, a lot of water, but no, we'll just have to try and keep it solid, keep it in there and see what happens.
Does that mean you try a big push just in case he hits trouble?
We'll wait and see about that one. We'll wait till we start.
And you like the idea of rain?
I do if I've got the right tyres on.
All right, thanks, Dougie. Okay, John, final night of the 2007 Tunnocks Tour of Mull. Another top 3 position going into the final night, but here's where it really starts, isn't it?
Yeah, we've got a 22 miler. It's just started raining, and yeah, it's going to be difficult, that's for sure.
Good afternoon's work, though.
Yeah, I drove well today. I was quite pleased with my driving today, and everything went well with the car. So yeah, fine.
And does the rain bother you?
Yeah, because it's that in between rain. It's not, it's only spitting. It's not putting a lot down on the ground, but it will have an effect. So you just don't know.
You relish this, though, don't you? The final night of Mull every year. That's what you're here for.
Oh yeah, of course it is. Yeah, we're here to win. I think the likelihood is now that we won't get that close to them, but we'll have a go.
Well, we're hearing trouble potentially in the McKinnon camp. They've got water-related problems with the Impreza. They're not entirely sure they've got fixed. Dougie Hall's promising a big charge, so you're always there or thereabouts to benefit.
Well, this is it. Like I said, we'll be there to pounce, and that's the idea. We're going to go up the 22 miler as hard as we dare, and we'll see what we come at the end of it. And if we're close enough, then we'll carry on the fight. If we're not, we've got a 2-minute gap behind us, so we'll settle for third.
Once more into the dark on this Mull Rally. Are you wanting the rain?
No, definitely not. No, this is a huge blow, I would say. But anyway, we've just got to make best of what we've got here, and we're going to try anyway. So it's all we can do.
Is rain what you wanted for this final night of Mull?
You must be joking. I'd have come in a boat if I'd wanted water.
Really, really close between you and Danny Harper. Does that mean you've got to push?
Yeah, I think there's also a degree of just being careful. There's a lot of rubbish on the road from earlier events this afternoon, so we're going to have to watch out for that as well. It's going to be a very careful, considered drive tonight.
As ever, you've got to give this place all the respect.
Masses of respect, all the time.
Have a good run.
So the crews now set off for the longest stage of the rally, which incorporated both Loch Tua and Calgary Bay into a 22-mile stage. Then it was another run over the Loch stage before the final service at Craigmuir, and then the final loop ending down the Glen Arros Road. Once again, it was Neil McKinnon who was first into the stage, where conditions were changeable, but it wasn't slowing the Subaru driver down. A minute later, and Dougie Hall set off into the stage. Dougie looked to be trying harder, but in fact, when we put the two together, you could see McKinnon was well ahead, passing the caravan on the right. Dougie was still a way off. Here he is approaching the caravan. And that's a good 20 seconds behind already. further into the stage and McKinnon was just past the Toloisk junction at the bottom of the hill road. And see how cautious he is taking that right-hander. And now back with Dougie Hall. But he's going a lot quicker. And... oh no! That was a huge roll. Let's take another look. It really was an unlucky accident, brought on with the ever-changing levels of grip. Both Dougie and Andy Richardson were okay, but their rally was definitely over. Meanwhile, John Cope was also struggling in the changing conditions.
And caution slippy now, long left 3, mud on exit, and right 3. And left 2, wet and slippy. And right 2 damp. 50, left 3, don't cut. And flat right, damp on exit, continues, left 4. And right 6 on crest. 75. Crest into left 1, into caution right 3 on crest, inside right 9, don't cut.
Here he is approaching Hall's corner.
Slow down then. And caution left 9 by house. 75. Left 1 damp. Yep. And left 2 into crest, into caution right 6 over crest. Right 6 over crest.
The conditions were just getting worse all the time, and as James McGilvery was finding out, there was very little grip or traction. Unfortunately, Paul Kirtley, who was next on the road, also lost control. And with his car blocking the stage, the organisers had no other option than to stop the stage and then parade all the remaining cars through. McKinnon had set another fastest time, stopping the clocks on 21 minutes 25 seconds on this 22-mile stage. Not bad for a car running in safe mode. So on to stage 16, and it was John Cope who set the top time. But McKinnon was only a few seconds slower, and his advantage was now over 2.5 minutes. It was a slightly sombre mood as the crews headed into service. Paul Kirtley had been taken to hospital as a precaution, and even though he was later released uninjured, it had affected several of the crews.
Only 2 stages down on this final night, John, but plenty of drama.
Yeah, that first 22-mile stage, very, very slippy in the centre section especially, and then just a bit further on, Dougie went off. It could have very well easily been us. We were very fortunate. In fact, we were running behind somebody because we nearly got caught out as well.
Were you on the wrong tyres?
No, I think we made the right call actually. We went out on intermediates, and I think we made the right call. But there was some sections of it was dry and some of it very, very slippy.
And what were the locks like afterwards?
Again, very greasy. I think we did fastest time, but not by a lot. I mean, we were fairly gentle through there, to be honest.
Well, we're still hearing rumours of problems for Neil McKinnon with this possible water problem, so you're the man now that's in second. Just keep the pressure on.
Well, that's all I can do at the end of it, yeah. But, it's not the way that you really want to win. I want Neil to win it, At the end of it, he's dominated from the front, and, I hope he gets to the finish. But at the end of it, if he's not there, then we'll pounce.
Well, James, you said caution was the watchword tonight. Other people said attack. It looks like you've been proved right.
Yeah, well, we got 9 miles in there and we've seen a car off. That was Dougie, I think. But it was undrivable, I would have thought. It just got to the stage that you just had to get in a gear and just drive around it. It was just absolute horrendous.
You backed right off, did you?
Yeah, we seen John Cope's lights ahead of us, and we knew that he wasn't pulling away. So I think he knew that we were, the minute was between the two of us. So we kept that minute, and and now I think the stage has been scrubbed. So nobody's gained by it all. I just hope that everybody else is all right, you know.
And the locks afterwards, was that okay for you?
That was slippy too, but I think we're just driving round it. That's all you've got to do, you know. If it had been really, really wet, the road would be clean, but the road's not clean, it's greasy. So.
And have you had a weather crew out over this next loop?
Yeah, they're still wet. They're wet, but there's not a lot of standing water. But you can't, you know, it's raining here now, so.
So the approach is exactly as you've done on those first two, just caution, caution, caution.
It's got to be because there's a big gap between John and ourselves, and there's a big gap between John and Neil now. So we've just got to just carry on the way we're going, and best man wins by the looks of things.
Okay, been a dramatic start to the final night of this 2007 tonnage Tour of Mull, and you were having mechanical problems late this afternoon. Have they been solved?
No, we're still having problems just now. The car's pressurising the water system at the moment. They're not sure what it is, and we're lucky to come off the long one there tonight. Like, we sort of 3/4 of the way through it started going on to safe mode and cutting out the car, but we got there, and with the delay on the long one, we've managed to get the car cool again. We've filled it with water and we've got it to. We've done Dervig, the last stage there, so we dropped quite a wee bit of time on that, but we're getting through.
Do you know what the problem is?
We don't. That's the problem. They've been looking at it, you know, since this afternoon. Not just too sure what it is.
So you've just got to play it by ear, literally stage by stage.
Basically, we've just shut the car down. We're on what's called safe mode in that car, and we're just driving through the stages.
And with a 2-minute lead, will that be enough, do you think?
But I think we should, you know, we'll just go as fast as we have to.
Final night of the Tour of Mull, and it started, hasn't it? Incidents galore.
Oh yes, always does. Never over till the fat lady sings, is it?
No. Rain stopped here now, but it certainly wasn't like that up on those first two, was it?
No, it's very, very slippy on the first two tonight, and it'll be slippy on the last three. There's no two ways about it. Even though the rain stopped, it's very, very slippy.
Were you giving it a big push on the first one?
Till about the first corner, and decided that was time to slow down.
I didn't get that far. I only got off start line, me.
Really? It was that difficult?
Very, very difficult, yeah. It's obviously with only being front wheel drive and whatever, we really went off on the wrong tyres as well, and so discretion was the better part of valor, as they say, isn't it?
It is up to fourth, just in case of getting it to the finish.
Yeah, just get it to the finish now, and it'll be good to get to if we can get it to the finish. That's what we're aiming for, and hopefully everything will go on all right, you know.
And the same for you, really. Into the top, what, 6 or 7 now, I would guess?
6th, but Willie Bonnywell's only 3 seconds behind me. Group A Subaru, 1600 Mini. I'll give it to Group A Subaru. If he wants it in wet weather, I will. If it were dry, I'd fight him for it, but I'm not going to fight him for it.
Really, just cruise round?
I want to get to finish, I think. Man, I've said that before.
And so we now head to the final stages, where we'll first take a look at the class winners. In the smallest engine class, coming home 48th overall and 3rd in class, the Rover Mini of Jim Brindle and Paul Whittaker. Second in the class and 42nd overall, the Vauxhall Corsa of Mark and Andrew Constantine. But finishing an impressive 29th overall, the Nova of Ewan McGilvery and Andrew Falconer. Class B had brought us a very close battle. 2nd and 3rd places had been changing throughout the day, but in the evening, George MacDonald and his navigator Ian Nicol couldn't quite keep up with that early pace, eventually finishing 22nd overall and 3rd in the class. Second in the class and 19th overall, Ian Chadwick and PJ O'Dowd had overcome a host of brake problems on this final leg to take a superb result. But not only finishing top of the class, but a magnificent 14th overall, it was Chris Hall and Elia Flynn.
Fabulous result, Chris. Looks like maybe top 15 overall, winning the class, and the first time for both you and Elia here in Mull.
Yeah, it's been an amazing weekend. Can't put it into words really. Hopefully we've got the class win. We were 50 seconds up at the start of the night, and but we had a lot of problems in Scridden, so we pushed really hard through Gribben and down here, so hopefully we've done enough. We'll just have to see when we get back, see if we've won the class, but I'm hoping for the best.
In Class C, finishing 3rd and 18th overall, the Escort Mark III of local man Steve Davis and navigator Leslie Hasty. That battle between the Mark I and Mark II Escorts had raged on throughout the evening, but just missing out on the class win, it was Chris Haig and Sally Peacock in the Mark I. But just 31 seconds ahead after 19 stages, it was the Mark II Escort of Tug Sherrington and Sam Bold.
We wait confirmation, but it looks very much like it.
Yeah, we don't know if Curly Eggs disappeared somewhere. I know he was behind us and he was probably 20-30 seconds behind in class.
So that's meant you've had to keep pushing.
Yeah, which wasn't good in these conditions really.
Bit of fun, few moments.
A bit of fun and a bit of a few heart stoppers as well. It's a bit dodgy in places.
You're here now, you've made the finish.
Yeah. Again, it takes some doing the Tour of Mull to finish.
Despite having been full of flu all weekend, Stuart McQueen had fought hard in his Mitsubishi Evo to eventually take the production class honours just 24 seconds from the similar car of John Morrison. But his face at the finish said it all.
But hopefully we'll still win the Group N class, which was our aim, you know. But I guess we probably lost a few places tonight.
Just purely through not feeling well?
I've got no strength, I just lost all my energy, and so...
Away and get yourself to bed.
I was just wanting to get to the end, really, basically. So
some iron brew then, that'll solve it.
Well, maybe something stronger.
And so to the final top 10. And in 10th, it was the Subaru of Tim Stell and Mike Yates. Ninth, and just 28 seconds ahead, the Mitsubishi of John and Jim Rintoul. Happy just to make it to the finish, as the car was smoking badly as they arrived at the stop line, in 8th it was David Miller and Andrew Bailey in the Subaru.
Smoking away here, but you've managed to make the finish, David.
I didn't think we were going to, but we don't know what's happened here, but we're here. And the fellow behind has not caught us, so I think
moving down, this car's
I think hopefully we've all late. We better go try sort this out, sorry.
John Cressy had driven his best ever Mull Rally and brought the Mini home with a very respectable result. He was all smiles at the finish line.
Year on year too, you're in the top 10 this year.
Yep, that'll do. That's fine for me, you know, for an old man.
You've been absolutely flying tonight.
No, not really. It's been very slippy. I've had a lot to compete with four-wheel drives, but, you know, that's what it's all about. I mean, we can match them when it's dry, but we'll lose out when it's wet.
You'll be on that calendar.
Oh, aye. Yeah.
The battle for 6th had gone right down to the wire, but in the final 2 stages it was Willie Bonnywell who had turned the wick up, and he pulled out just enough to take the place from Cressy. 14 seconds the difference at the finish.
It's a hard one, it is a hard one, and I've been trying to finish this rally for years in Mark II Escorts, but I just keep piling them off in the hills. So, Subaru, no, it's fine, good wee car.
In 5th, finishing in style as well, setting 2 final third fastest times, Tristan Pye in the Subaru. And in his current form, you certainly wouldn't discount him from going even better next year. He was certainly beaming at the finish.
Well now, Tristan, the top 5 overall it looks like. An absolutely staggering result.
Yeah, I hope so. We'll see what happens when we get to the finish and see what the results are, but hopefully it'll be top 5. Good result.
Brilliant weekend's work.
Yeah, it's been good fun. Different, but good fun.
It's been a few years since Daniel Harper has seen the finish of the Tour of Mull Rally. But this year, the Mini had been truly awesome. And on the final 2 stages, he rounded out his event in fine style, taking both stage wins. But he was quite coy at the finish.
And Daniel, big race on we here towards the finish between you and James.
I think you'll have got it. You think so? I don't think either of us were pushing really. Sorry, I'm a bit dry.
So you'd take 4th overall?
I'm quite happy with that.
Been a fantastic weekend, yeah?
It has been good, really good, yeah. Well happy with it.
Well, mixed conditions tonight, but apart from that, bone dry.
Oh yeah, it's like That's rallying though, isn't it?
And that's what makes Mull such a special test.
That's the one.
And so it was James McGilvery who would blast over the final stage. Not quite as fast as Harper, but he had done enough to take a fine third overall.
Absolutely fantastic result if it is a top 3.
Yeah, absolutely delighted with that, so that'll do.
Going into the final stage, McKinnon still held a 3-minute lead over John Cope, but he was still running in safe mode and was definitely hemorrhaging time. It was John Cope who was first into view coming down the hill road.
And right 3 opens, keep out.
And then taking the cheers from the very large crowd that had gathered into Vague.
Watch this one then. Into left 3 and flat right 50. Right 1, 75 wet. Caution left 1 on crest. Caution left 1 on crest. 75. Caution left 2 on crest. Keep out. And right 1. 50.
And let's see if we can grab a quick word. Well then, John, we're waiting on Neil, obviously, but it looks, provided he gets through to us here, as if it's bridesmaid once again.
Yeah, looks like it. But I'm not particularly bothered. At the end of the day, Neil's led it right from the start, so you know, he deserves to win. You know, I've driven pretty well, but at the end of it, Neil was just in a different league. So.
But at the same time, you've driven a hard rally.
Yeah, it's been difficult, especially tonight. Over these sort of last 4 stages, it's been pretty treacherous, but it's been good.
Great fun as ever on Mull.
Aye, come back again.
And that just left Neil McKinnon to almost cruise through the final stage. And despite dropping over 30 seconds, he would take the win by 2 minutes, 21 seconds.
Here we are. It should be the winner of the 2007 Tunnocks Tour of Mull. It's been a fantastic drive despite some problems. Let's see if we can grab ourselves a quick word. A magnificent 12 wins on Mull, Neil McKinnon. 38 runnings and you've won 12 of them. Fantastic.
Yeah, we've been very lucky. We've been lucky here, and the car's held out, and pleased to be here.
Big problems towards the end, but you've managed to coast it round pretty much in safe mode, yes?
Yeah, that's what it still is. I just have to move on to now because it'll heat up badly when I'm parked here.
Okay, we'll leave you to crack on. There we are.
It was the morning after when the results were confirmed, and then all that was left was for the winners to take the champagne.
Alright folks, well here we go. Big congratulations to them all! Go on folks, let's see that champagne go. Come on. You've not got to drink it, you've got to spray it. Well done. It's a good job he's better with the cord and the champagne, isn't it? Oh, fantastic!